Joe came to Hexagon by way of his talented wife, Ellen, being in the 1992 show Capital Offenses, and as spouse was part of the Hexagon family automatically. He debuted his writing talents in the 1993 show, A Play on Both Your Houses, with 3 numbers, Mrs. President, Please Them All, and a simple tune about Ross Perot. Joe was a prolific writer. 39 numbers were featured in Hexagon shows from 1993 through 2020. In this tribute to Joe, we are featuring 6 of his numbers and 3 exceptional performances. Of course, it is with ultimate sadness that we are doing this tribute, but we guarantee that sadness will turn into a joyful appreciation and celebration of Joe. Our first video is from our 2010 show, Dancing with the Stars, which was our first year performing at Montgomery College Silver Spring campus. Joe wrote 3 numbers for this show, but for many of us, he is most remembered for his portrayal of a pope in the sketch Census.
The last census.
Again? Already? Fine, let's get this over with.
All right. The first item submitted, we declare the Lucian for 2010, stealing Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi?
A wireless internet, Your Holiness.
I know what it is, but doesn't that already come under the don't steal thing?
Well, there's so many people who do it. And it's not really stealing a physical thing.
Stealing! It's a sin!
Brother Tommaso, what's next?
Having more than 100 apps on your iPhone.
Cinch me! Sometimes you just have to get directions, take your temperature, create your hip-hop beats, play Mario Brothers, calculate your calorie consumption, figure which little bird you're looking at, and make silly little fox noises all at the same time! So, what else?
Google! The whole thing is a sin for trying to take over the world.
No. They're just trying to bring mankind together.
Oh, really? Well, I don't think it's a plot for world domination. Prove me wrong.
All right, I will. Let me Google it. Fine, send it up. All right, what else? iPhone?
Well, I'm not sure either, but I saw some guy complaining about it on the BET.
Well, let's let that one go for another decade. We'll come back to it later. All right, what's next?
We forgot about the green sins.
What? Say, for the love of... Where's going on with you? The new!
Dudes, chill. Stop, don't be.
You have the list of the green sins for 2010.
I never thought you'd ask, Pope Meister. Number 1, idling a gas guzzler and then jumping out to use an ATM.
Is that fast cash or deposit?
It doesn't say.
Well, if you got someone waiting for you in the car, not a sin. If you're driving solo, it's a sin.
You got it, Pope Face Killer. Number 2, throwing out those Starbucks cups with the recycle logo on them.
Not a sin. Leaving it on the table with the receipt across the right for the other people to throw away. Not a sin. Especially one of those tables in the corner, the comfy chairs, you relax, read the newspaper. Sin point 5. You gentlemen will note me. Tack the following onto your list of the new sins for 2010. Sin number 1. though, that just really annoys the crap out of me.
Me too.
And the last new sin for 2010, texting while driving.
I still don't think that's going to stop people.
Look, well, come on. I don't want my Popemobile being run off the Vatican Beltway by some punk Meshuggah kid who takes his eyes off the road to find the best of motor car.
Good point.
Of course it is. I'm the Pope. Well, I think that'll about take us to 2020. So why don't you say that St. Peter's borrow some schnapps, drinks, and...
A 21-pun salute was the title of our 2011 show. Joe had 3 numbers in the show, most notably, and in keeping with the show title, his GI series for an Andrews Sisters-style tribute to all the wonderful young men in all arms of the armed forces. Please enjoy Ellen Kaplan, Mary Jean Bruno, and Julie Bain Miller extolling those virtues with music by Doug Mauer.
I was talking to my therapist, telling her my woes, said I have this empty feeling from my head down to my toes. What's wrong with me? I asked her, please help me with my queries. You don't need a shrink, she said. You need a GI.
Here is a tribute from Eleanor Burdishaw. Working with Joe as assistant director in oath of office, it was apparent that I clicked with his sense of humor, especially his appreciation of cerebral satire. I approached him to be our materials coordinator, and the rest was history. Joe reached far and wide for new talent and encouraged those attending the writers' meetings to push the limits. He also understood the success of our show began with the first materials meeting and continued through the collaborative process of treatment and arrangement of each piece. It was later that I knew him as a performer and leader. Both roles he played to the fullest. He joins the ranks of truly dedicated Hexagon volunteers, multi-talented and so generous to our organization. Thank you, Eleanor, for those wonderful words. 4 of Joe's numbers were included in the 2012 show I Get No Kick from Campaign, where Joe and Doug once again collaborated on a brilliantly and succinctly cataloged history of the coaches of the Washington football team, Hail, Fail Redskins. With each new coach came a new music style. Cast favorite was Schottenheimer. What's your pick?
8 and you call it 2 for 1. Mike Shanahan is our new coach, and we got his firstborn son.
Hexagon often featured a laugh-in-wall type comedy routine with many cast members exchanging one-liners. Sometimes the walls were in the White House or a non-wall in a barbershop. And in 2012, there were 2 brightly painted tall walls. Here are a couple of Joe moments in a Hexagon-style laugh-in wall.
Whatever happened to the Herman Cain train?
Too much steam on the windows and not enough in the boiler.
The Republicans are the party that says government doesn't work, and then they get elected and prove it.
Bunch of teabaggers.
That's 5 cents, please.
Rabbi Cohen, I would like to know whether you feel sex is work or whether it's pleasure. We in the Catholic Church believe that procreation is God's work.
Well, I'm really not sure, but I do know this. If my wife thought it was work, she'd hire someone to come in and do it for her.
What was President Obama's Halloween costume that scared everyone to death?
He came dressed as a 2-term president?
I went to the gas station and inserted my card into the pump. It asked me the make and model of my car, my annual salary, and what my mortgage payment is. Finally, the voice said, "You may fill up now. Your loan has been approved."
What did the Energy Department do without all the taxpayer money they gave to Solyndra? They put it where the sun don't shine.
Rabbi Cohen, I quite enjoyed our walk through the woods yesterday. It was so spiritually uplifting.
Yes, it was quite lovely, until you suggested we go skinny dipping and all those ladies showed up. Maybe it was embarrassing for you.
It was very embarrassing. I'm curious about something. When I saw the ladies ladies, I immediately covered up my privates, but you covered up your face. Why was that?
Well, Father, I don't know about you, but in my congregation, it's my face they would recognize.
I have a quick remembrance. Although Joe is known mostly as a lyricist, in fact Sue wrote some of the music for his songs, I remember him as a sketch writer. We would sit at the corner bakery near his office at lunch, where we would try to dream up the script for the news conferences during Trump years. We ate lunch, threw around ideas, laughed uproariously, embarrassed ourselves in front of the other diners, and then we were able to only use about half of what we came up with. The rest was brilliant, but not at all appropriate for the Hexagon stage. It was delightful. So Joe, thanks for keeping Hexagon going, and thanks for the laughs. Godspeed.
A Raucous Caucus, Hexagon's 2013 show, had two of Joe's numbers, My Silver Man and the closer, Hexagon Will Be Here. Talk about his prolificness. He wrote 4 closers and 5 oratorios, and sometimes in one night. Here is My Silver Man.
Girls, We the People magazine have just named the 2013 sexiest man alive. Nate Silver.
The economist who correctly predicted President Obama's electoral college win in all 50 states.
He is an unconventional choice. Face it, he's the ultimate nerd.
Oh, nerd schmerd. I get goosebumps just thinking about Nate Silver. Me too! 2012 gave us a genius, a man of the nerdiest kind. Now I'll share a secret between us. This nerd is quite really a find. He may wear a pocket protector. His wardrobe is not very bold, but as an election projector, my silver man is good as gold. Dave Silver makes me fizz. Nobody can top his mathematics, skill, and whiz, and I'm gonna make him mine.
Fast forward to 2017, let freedom zing, and picture the November writers' meeting. All of us stunned by the unthinkable, a Hillary loss and a Trump presidency. We quickly regrouped and did our best to focus on and expose the humor that the election presented us. Joe wrote 5 pieces for this show. It Doesn't Matter, the Fake News Press Conference, Huzzah, Huzzah, the Oratorio, the Preschool Handbook, and Kale, a song all about Joe's dislike of kale. Kale, I hate you, Kale. You won't go down with water, coffee, or ale. And of course, we had to feature tap dancing Kales in this number. Enjoy.
There are things in life that I cannot abide, like so-called French fries that are baked and not fried, or the White House with Donald Trump inside. Yes, things that I cannot abide.
One of all those things, there is one that won't fail to make me so nauseous that I turn pale.
If you force me to eat it, I surely will wail. So please don't make me eat kale. Kale, I hate you, kale. You won't go down with water, coffee, or ale. Kale, I hate you, kale. I don't understand this latest restaurant craze. Kale, I hate you, kale. You should be thrown into a garbage pail. Kale, I hate you, kale. I hope this is just some awful restaurant phase. I'll not eat kale here or there. I'll not eat it anywhere. I'll not eat it in a house. I'll not eat it with a mouse. It's the one thing on my plate that I will always leave. If it's forced on me, then I will truly leave. Kale, I love you, kale. You're like the moss I find on the trail. Kale, you're so gross, kale. I'll beg if I eat you all my livelong days. I'll not eat kale with my meal. No, it's Spanish that I feel. I'll eat any other green thing, so please. Oh wait, now I'm thinking real, and I will make you this deal. I will eat the kale, just don't feed me the peas. I forgot just how much I cannot stand peas.
And from Kathy Karpousis, this beautiful memory and tribute. Joe Kaplan never settled, never. Do not settle for less than your best, ever. When Joe wasn't at rehearsal or at meetings, I missed him. Hexagon needed Joe, his brilliant eye and his clear devotion to the organization and to its purpose and to all of us involved in it. Joe didn't settle. He wanted Hexagon to be there, to thrive. Not only the show, but the parties, the secret buddies, all of it. And to continue after he was no longer president or performing. And finally, I must mention Joe's generosity, welcoming us all into his home with Ellen. You felt like family. Hexagon family, as Joe would say. Joe never settled. And we all in the Hexagon family are all the better for it. Such a beautiful remembrance. Thank you so much, Kathy. 2018's Tweet Land of Liberty also included 5 of Joe's numbers. we are featuring only one that he wrote, the brilliant Act 2 opener, What We Need, spelled K-N-E-E-D. The different takes on Kaepernick's Take a Knee protest went from the silly, when your toast is burnt too dark, take a knee, to the serious, when injustice is around, take a knee. What We Need is followed by Joe's best physical humor portrayal in Officer Friendly. It's a riot.
Yes, protesting for our causes. We really had a lot of clout. Now where's the passion and the fervor for things today we care about? Protest movements make us squeamish. We've been trumped from what I've seen. When the whole country goes crazy 'cause Colin Kaepernick took a knee. When your toast is burnt too dark, take a knee. When the waitress serves you coffee when you really order tea. When your husband can't shoot straight when he takes his A to B, take a knee, take a knee, take a knee. When the boss says you'll work late, take a knee. When the cart in the express lane has more things than there should be. When you will not drive in hot lanes cause they charge an extra fee. Take a knee, take a knee, take a knee. You make light of something serious. You just think we're all delirious. When we exercise free speech, different than you. But the 60s spirit caught us, as our hippie parents taught us, that our protest shows we love our country too. When the mailman comes too late, take a knee. When the metro signal tracking and is slower than you need. When your Starbucks double latte ain't as hot as it should be. Take a knee, take a knee, take a knee. When your cable bill goes up, take a knee. When a plastic bag costs 5 cents when it used to be for free. When your purchases online don't have free delivery. Take a knee, take a knee, take a knee. We don't think you're understanding. We are not simply grandstanding. We are trying to explain just how we feel. If we do not treat each other as a sister and a brother, how the hell will our divisions ever heal? When injustice is around, take a knee. When one gay or black or Muslim's not as free as they should be. When the big shots at the workplace will not hear a woman's plea. Take a knee, take a knee, take a knee. If you think that we are preaching, take a knee. If you think we're overreaching, not as funny as can be. If you do not like this song, and you think that it is wrong,
You know what you can do.
take a knee, take a knee, take a
Oh, I couldn't eat my hot dog because I was drinking.
Sir, can you speak? Are you choking?
Hey, it is Officer Friendly! You talked to us last month about bike safety!
Hey kids, I remember you two. Garrison Elementary.
What's wrong with this guy? Are you teaching him safety too?
Well, not yet, kids. This man is choking. Can you say that? Choking?
Yeah, choking! Like when you can't breathe!
Very good. Now your teacher would ask you to spell choking, but I won't.
I can spell it. C-H-O-K-I-N-G.
That's wonderful. Now I'm going to show you all what to do when someone is choking. Does that sound like fun?
Yeah! Oh, is that like when my mom tells my dad, I hope you choke on it?
I'm not so sure about that. I don't know if this man's married. So the first thing you want to do is ask them, are you choking? Since they are and they can't breathe, they can't answer.
So you gotta guess?
Well, sort of. You must also look at them, and if they are choking, they should be struggling, pointing at their neck, and turning blue. Like this man is.
So what do you do?
Kids, it's called the Heimlich maneuver. Can you say that? Heimlich? That's close enough. So you're gonna want to get behind him and compress his diaphragm. You gotta be big and strong like me. If you're smaller like you two, you can just jump on his stomach. No, kids. I'll take care of this.
Damn it, were you ever going to help me?
Sir, please don't use language like that. There are children present.
It's okay. My parents talk like that all the time. And they say a lot worse.
Sir, I was helping them demonstrate safety while I helped you.
Oh, yucky, what's this?
It came out of his nose!
Kids, that is a foreign object. And it almost killed this man.
Is that the same kind of foreign object that President Trump says are killing us?
No, kids. Those are different foreign objects. He calls them illegal immigrants.
We gotta go.
Goodbye, Officer Friendly.
Bye, kids. Remember what we learned today about safety?
Well, I can finally eat my hot dog because I'm not choking.
In Hexagon 2019, A Romp in the Swamp, Joe contributed 2 pieces. One, an extremely clever reverse take on border crossing in At the Border, and the patriotic This Is Us near the end of the show. Listen now to Hexagon 2019's director, Nick Bashur, share his memories of Joe, followed by At the Border.
This is Nicholas Bashur. There are so many special memories of Joe that it's kind of difficult to pick a few out of all of them to highlight. When I first moved to DC, Joe and Ellen, along with Howard Goldblatt and Leela Cohen, became sort of my adoptive parents, as we would like to say, because my parents were still back in Michigan. My first memory of Joe was right after the first ever Hexagon rehearsal for me, when we went to Guapo's in Tinleytown, which had become sort of a post-rehearsal Hexagon tradition on Thursday nights. And I have my birthday in early January, and Joe had found out. And so when I had got there, they surprised me at the restaurant with like a birthday thing and hats, and they had everyone singing for me. And that was my first memory of Joe, even though I kind of knew him a little bit, because my first involvement with the DC theater community was at British Players, and I was in a show with Ellen, Music Hall. Joe wasn't in it that year, but he was working backstage, and that's where I first met him. Joe was there for a lot of special moments in my life. He came to my master's program graduation at Georgetown, and later that evening when my husband Alex proposed, Joe was also there. And he actually, I think, even took the video of the whole thing. So we'll always have that memory because of Joe. So aside from his ability to write really sharp sketches, like the one you're about to see, and amazing lyrics for a lot of both funny and powerfully emotional songs, he was also a very generous person when it came to his time and his compassion for others, and just the dedication that he gave to all of his relationships at Hexagon or anywhere else. And so those are the kinds of things that I'll always remember about Joe for the rest of my life.
Siguiente, por favor.
Dear, I think he's calling us.
Buenos días.
Buenos días. ¿Cómo se llama?
I no speak Spanish.
Names, please. Names, please.
Oh, I'm Billy Smith. This here's my wife, Susie Smith, and our little boy, Billy Jr.
What is the purpose of your trip?
My daddy, the boy's grandpa, has been working in Mexico, you see.
He's an alien worker.
I guess so, but he had a nervous breakdown. He was taken to a mental hospital. We're coming to fetch him.
He's in an asylum?
I guess. Anyway, we're trying to locate it to bring him home.
Purpose of trip, seeking asylum.
I guess you could say that.
Did he ask you to come get him?
Oh, no. We're coming unannounced.
Mode of transportation?
Oh, we're driving our Dodge minivan.
That's right. That's our blue Dodge Caravan parked over there.
Mode of transportation. Arrived in a caravan. Occupation.
Oh, my husband just lost his job at Carrier Air Conditioning.
Unemployed.
And I'm a pharmacy technician at Walgreen Drug.
Occupation, drug dealer. Child's ID, please.
He's just a child. He has no ID.
Undocumented minor. Length of visit.
As long as it takes us to find Daddy. But we might want to tour your beautiful country for a bit afterward.
But for how long?
We have no specific plans.
Length of stay, no plans to return to the U.S.
What's with all the questions? I thought travel between the U.S. and Mexico was routine.
Just doing what our new president wants. Hey, toma chico, take the boy.
What? What are you doing?
No!
No! You can't do this!
My
You can't do this! You can't do this! What are you doing taking the child from his mother's arms?
You come into my country, uninvited, in a caravan, seeking asylum. One of you is unemployed and the other, a drug dealer. You have no plans to return to the U.S. and your child is undocumented. You are unfit parents and we have no choice but to take your child.
Billy, quick, give me something to drink. I feel faint.
Where are you taking him? When do we get our son back?
No sé. We haven't worked out that part of the plan yet.
How could you not have worked out that part of the plan? This is insane!
Calm down, senora.
Calm down? This violates all norms. The United States would never treat your people this way.
You've been drinking the Kool-Aid, haven't you, senora?
Why, yes. How did you know I was drinking the Kool-Aid?
Lucky guess, lady. Lucky guess.
Come on, we'll find him, I'm sure. Let's go.
For the longest time, Joe had tried to convince the directors to make space for a curtain appeal. Everybody was doing it except us. And in 2015, it became part of the closing of the show. Joe would tell the audience that cast members would be in the lobby with a basket for them to make an extra contribution to the charity beneficiary. No gift was too small or too large, and all greatly appreciated. The response was stunning. And in 2016, he introduced the Secret Buddy Gift Exchange. Before Tech Week, we would put our name along with some basic information, our favorite beverage, our favorite color, our favorite candy, and any hobbies on a little piece of paper that we'd put in a hat, actually an envelope. And then we'd draw a name. On opening night, we'd bring a small gift for our secret buddy. And on closing night, we'd bring a larger gift, and we're encouraged to try to guess who our secret buddy was. Just fun, and a chance to get to know one cast member a little better. And then there's Hexagon Wants to Know, one of Joe's silly things to use if and when needed. Here are 6 examples.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hexagon 2018 Tweetland of Liberty. You know, there's so much going on that just leaves us scratching our heads. Hexagon wants to know, why is it we figured out how to put a man on the moon before we figured out it would be a good idea to put wheels on luggage? Hexagon wants to know, is there another word for synonym? Hexagon wants to know, why do they call hemorrhoids hemorrhoids? Shouldn't they call them asteroids? I got a million of them, folks, but we don't have time for that. But lastly, Hexagon wants to know, will Sarah Huckabee Sanders ever give a White House briefing where she tells the truth? Let's watch and find out.
The greatest honor of being the president of Hexagon is being able to present the President's Award to a deserving member on closing night. So at the party, we usually speak about the honoree without mentioning their name, and eventually everyone starts to figure out who the recipient is. But in 2020, we had no closing night. So now we're in 2021, and it is my honor to present the President's Award to Ellen and Joe Kaplan. As you know, Joe's contributions to Hexagon were immeasurable. As a writer, performer, materials coordinator, or more recently, assistant director of creative materials for creative materials, and as a board member. His greatest impact was felt during his 6 years as president. His leadership, vision, energy, generosity, and dedication to Hexagon were unparalleled. But let me tell you about Ellen and her many contributions to Hexagon. Ellen joined the cast in 1992, and her talents were very quickly recognized. One of my favorite numbers from the early years was her Hillary Clinton, along with Jill DeAndrea's Tipper Gore, gracing the stage for 6 consecutive years before she took a hiatus to support their beautiful, talented daughters and their musical theater and dance pursuits. Because of Ellen's beautiful voice and her amazing ability to always sing the right notes, all the altos wanted to have her voice in our ear. We were all so pleased, especially me, when Ellen rejoined the cast in 2007, with Joe to follow in 2008. Ellen had so many memorable performances, but one of my favorites has to be her Sophia in The Golden Girls. Who knew what great comedic timing and inflection she has? For over a decade, Ellen used her flair for language and writing, producing and editing our monthly hexagram. Ellen has also served on the board as secretary and has co-chaired our Hexagon at 60 and Hexagon at 65 events. Joe and Ellen were a team, an amazing team, who were always there for their family, their friends, and especially for each other. Our Hexagon family will always be here for you, Ellen. We love you. Here's to you and to Joe.
No one told a joke like Joe did, basking in the glow like Joe did, letting laughter fill the air, charming us with comic flair. No one turned a phrase like Joe did, working words like clay. Joe did. When in court or on the stage, wit and brilliance on display. With his Ellen, it was clear that he was truly smitten. And as the years go by, how much we'll miss him. Hexagon is grateful for all that Joe has written. His voice we will hear when we stop to listen. No one sees the day like Joe did, at work or play like Joe did. With his zest for life, he had a ball. Father, hubby, best friend and puppy, he loved it all.
Mr. Sipsner, one more time.